Hi and welcome back to the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm Whitney McKoy. So today we're going to be discussing a groundbreaking victory for the Caribbean nations at the International Court of Justice, or ICJ. Now, the world's top legal body has declared that wealthy, high-polluting nations could be legally responsible for climate damage inflicted on small island states. What does that mean? Well, the ruling doesn't just acknowledge the devastation, it opens the door to potential climate reparations. Leaders from St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Bahamas are celebrating what they call a historical legal win, one that could shift the global climate change debate, or the climate debate, forever. The International Court of Justice, or ICJ for short, ruled that countries have substantive legal obligations under climate treaties like the Paris Agreement, not just procedural ones. In other words, if you pollute and it can harm others, you can be held accountable.
Aruna Ayenga has the details.
No Caribbean paradise here as Hurricane Beryl hits the island of Carriacou, part of Grenada. The storm has whipped up winds of 150 miles per hour.
St. Vincent's Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves called the ruling a game changer, especially for nations that have endured the worst of climate disasters without causing them. Remember Hurricane Beryl back in 2024? Well, that storm left over 90% of buildings in some parts of SVG destroyed. The Bahamas Attorney General Ryan Pinder echoed the sentiment, highlighting how Hurricane Dorian back in 2019 impacted not just homes and infrastructures, but human rights, access to water, food, housing, and the right to a safe environment. Human rights and culture lawyers, or climate lawyers, now argue that with the growing body of climate science and the ICJ's legal ruling, small states can prove cause and effect. And, well, here's where it gets even more controversial. The court also made clear that past polluters can't just walk away from their history. No. Big players like the US and the UK tried to dodge the implications. But the court didn't bite. Instead, it recognized how centuries of fossil fuel pollution and colonial exploitation are directly linked to today's climate disasters. Of course, not everyone is happy. In the UK, some MPs have slammed the ruling, calling it mad and accusing the ICJ of jumping on political bandwagons. But leaders like Gonsalves say the Caribbean isn't and will never back down. This is about life, living, and production for all of us on planet Earth, Gonsalves said. And well, as the region considers next steps, one thing is clear: the climate justice movement just gained a powerful legal weapon, and the Caribbean is leading the charge. Until next time, I'm Whitney McKoy. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the African Diaspora News Channel for more news from the diaspora.